Welcome to all our viewers on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Now, today's topic we'll be discussing understanding your goldfish. Want to know more? Stay tuned. Welcome back to all our Ornamental Fish Wiz viewers. Now today, as was said earlier, we'll be discussing understanding your goldfish. Now, one of the keys to understanding your goldfish is to understand their diet. And to understand what constitutes a healthy diet, one has to understand what goldfishes have evolved to eat and how they digest their food. Now, in their natural habitat, as goldfishes are omnivorous, in their natural habitat, they would consume floating plants, algae, mosquito larvae, and unluckily some bugs near the surface of the water. Now, further down, they would find some daphnia or some tadpoles or even small fishes, as long as it can fit in their mouth. Rooting around on the bottom, they would sift through the mud for various aquatic organisms, worms, blackworms, freshwater shrimp, and snails, ingesting some mud as well, bacteria, fungi along the way. They would also eat algae submerged aquatic plants and the roots of any plants that's around. Their digestive tracts have evolved to be able to digest a wide variety of food. It will, and you will always find that these goldfishes, as I said earlier, that anything that fits in their mouth and it is edible and it tastes good, you will find your omnivorous goldfish eating. Now, one of the key things to understand about goldfishes is that their digestion begins and it starts in the mouth, where they grind their food into small particles at the back of their mouth. They also have small hollows at the back of the gill arches that trap food in the water. Mucus is secreted by the lining of the oral cavity and mixed with the food. From there, food moves down through the esophagus to what would be the stomach, if you had a stomach. And please note that goldfishes do not carry any stomach. So this is one of the most important things that you would need to understand about your goldfishes, because depending on the type of food you feed your goldfishes, you would need to ensure that the food does not allow your goldfishes to get constipated, because constipation is one of the things that affect these goldfishes because of the lack of having a stomach. So the muscles in the esophagus squeezes excess water out of the food. The goldfish intestinal tract is a long tube. Now, food gets broken down by digestive enzymes as it passes through the intestine. Now, proteins are broken down into amino acids. Carbohydrates are broken down into sugars. Fats are broken down into fatty acids. Now, these nutrients, along with vitamins and minerals, are absorbed into the bloodstream by the intestine. The last part of the intestine has lots of mucus producing cells. Undigested food comes out the back end encased in mucus and is usually a similar color to the food that has been consumed. Now, you will always realize that if you should feed your goldfish a lot of vegetables, say you're feeding duckweed, you would find that a lot of the waste that is passed out, it is green, because all the goldfish intestine does is just to squeeze the necessary nutrient from the food as it passes through the intestine. Now, goldfish's body temperature is the same as their environment. So, as in many other fishes, warmer temperatures speed up metabolism and cooler temperatures slow down metabolism. Now, this is also another key that you are supposed to remember, because the warmer the water is for your goldfish, it is the better, and it is much easier for the goldfish to digest his food. Thus, in warmer temperatures, you can feed your goldfish more, but as long as the temperatures fall and your water gets colder, it is always advisable not to feed your goldfish that large amount of food. So there are several practical lessons to be had from looking at how goldfish would eat in their natural habitat and how they process these food. Because of the lack of a stomach, it is always advised that you feed your goldfish in smaller quantities frequently. So therefore, it is better to feed them in smaller quantities frequently than to give them a large meal, as goldfishes are picky eaters, and in their natural habitat they would be swimming around picking at small amounts as they go along. If you feed large meals, a lot comes out and it is not digested. Thus, this undigested food usually contaminates your water, causing a buildup of ammonia in your water, which can prove deadly to your fish if your filtration system is not able to handle that large volume of waste. So there would be lots of undigested food that you would find all around in your tank, creating a lot of debris. Now, these bacteria consume oxygen and release ammonia, increasing the bioload on the tank and ultimately raising nitrate levels. Now, as long as your biofilter is not handling the excess amount of ammonia, breaking down those nitrate to nitrite, then you're going to be having a lot of issues in your tank. Now, giving a goldfish a variety of fresh and live foods will also mimic their natural feeding behavior more, with as long as you could interchange it along, like with duckweed, because duckweed is easily grown in your old aquarium water and goldfishes love duckweed. So if you have algae or any other plants that are growing in another tank, or maybe in another tank with some tetras or some barbs, you could remove those as well and use it to feed your goldfishes. So fresh vegetables are always important to feed your goldfishes, because this allows their digestive tract to be more freely. Thus, you will not allow, and you will be eliminating the aspect of your goldfish having bloating or any sort of blockage in the intestine, which can prove fatal. Now always remember to mix your feeding, your type of feed for your goldfish. So you can use high protein foods along with live foods and along with vegetables. Now some of these vegetables can range from squash, as was said earlier, duckweed, green peas, green beans, and various beans. You could also use a lot of like shrimp. You could use clam or whitefish, sardines, herring, or salmon. You could also culture redworms or daphnia, mosquito larvae, blackworms, or freshwater shrimp or snails. Could be a potential source of live foods for your goldfish. Now always remember that whenever you're keeping goldfish in aquarium or even outdoor ponds, you have to ensure that your filtration system can handle the amount of waste, because goldfishes, one of the things about goldfishes is that they produce a lot of waste. Hope that this was helpful to you, hoping that this helped you to understand your goldfish a little better. Thanks much for joining us. Please remember to click the subscribe button, and please remember to leave a comment, share, and like this video. We do appreciate your comments. Thanks for all the persons who have subscribed to our channel, and please stay tuned for more videos. Ornamental Fish Wiz. Ornamental Fish Wiz.